EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos. And off we go from Denver. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line.
Here we go, Jack! Jack, tackle!
They'll start on the ground with Pierce. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll set up a throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Nice play on the football, and while it was tipped in the air and made everyone a little bit anxious before falling to the ground, you just know defensive players are taught to knock the ball to the ground. But early in games, emotions come into play. Nerves come into play. And despite the training, the ball was tipped up. Fortunately for them, they didn't pay for that error.
Going deep for Hopkins. He's got a man complete. A huge play there for Houston. 53 yards. Well, if you pull up his college highlight reel, you will see no shortage of great throws, and here's one in his NFL debut for big yardage.
And this is going to be a big test early in his career. How accurate can he be on throws like this? If he keeps doing that, he's going to be just fine.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. 1st and 10, it's Pierce. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On the jet sweep, they get this to Cooks. And he'll get this down only to the 18. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at the 20. They'll start out on the ground at Saquon Barkley. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They go play action with Wilson. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards the pickup there. Move the chains.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
Yeah, 1 for 1, a lot more to go.
What?
Play action. Now Wilson. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. He exited the pocket trying to improvise. That was a tough throw, and unfortunately, it wound up in the wrong pair of hands.
And Brandon, when you're on the run, sometimes your downfield vision can get skewed just a bit. Now, the beauty of extending a play is sometimes your receivers find their way open, but oftentimes you end up closing down part of the field and bringing those defenders to the ball, and that one was picked off.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Okay,
the
ready?
last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Ready?
On play action, they'll throw. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Michael O.J. Moody. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Well, certainly felt like he was going to challenge this defense no matter what, and he stepped up and tried to throw it to the outermost edge of the zone coverage, and they were more than ready for him. The problem now is if they are limited in what they're doing throwing the football, they got to figure out how to move it without being able to throw it to the outside and throw it downfield.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They had the auspicious beginning to the season, a first drive turnover. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Ball on the 30 as they come up, 2nd and 10. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Gets this to Campbell out on the right side. He's going to have the first down and more than that. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 45-yard line. It's Barkley on the counter. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
tackling.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked out before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Here's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
That good for 22 and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. First down, they go right back to Pierce. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
D4L Broncos.
He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 42. No score after 1 on EA Sports. So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10. Pierce now up the middle. And he's got it to about the 40.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Ready, set.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Ready.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And his throw here's incomplete.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big third down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down. Back to throw. He's going to look deep end zone for Hopkins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Well, that's not one you see very often on Aaron Donald because we know he's not trying to do anything intentional, but that time, just a little too late for the officials' liking.
A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Up the gut, Fournette. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
19 flags.
They'll look to throw. And Cooks has it over the middle. And the Texans are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. They'll try and run forward with Fournette. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Second and goal from inside the 5. Fournette again. And this time he'll get down close to the goal line, but not quite in as he stopped at the 1-yard line. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's third and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's third and goal. They'll go with a keeper. So call that no gain on the sneak, and now they're still a yard short here on 4th. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on, and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
So taking a risk here early in the new year, they're going to go for it. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Caden Stearns. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30. Well, Charles, certainly circle that play. We might have to revisit it later. They had 3 in their back pocket. They go for it on 4th and goal and throw the pick.
Well, you know, we're still in the first half. A bold call nonetheless. And I guess the book might have said take the 3, but it looks like they burned the book and just said give me the analytics. And the analytics said go for it. Didn't work out.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the Texans will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Well, their defense got them the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you coming like an auctioneer. We've got 2, we got 2. Do I hear 3? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. A nice completion there for the first down. And, Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week one. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game has his team run the brink of the playoffs. And Deshaun Watson has won division titles after having started from day one.
Rookie to rookie on the hookup there, and it's a first down. Another completion there, and we think back to the draft in the spring. This franchise essentially handing him the keys to the operation, a top 5 pick. Charles, how ready do you think he is?
I think he's ready for the NFL in terms of size, speed, the makeup of him, the character of him. The key's going to be, will this team accept everything he brings to the game and adapt to it? Not just necessarily plug him into something.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to have it here just past the 25.
And the tough thing is when he goes back and reviews the film, he'll see that he already escaped the pocket. He could have gotten more himself by using his legs, and that might have been the better choice there instead of challenging the zone. A miscalculation on his part, and he pays for it with the interception.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They begin with a run by Barkley. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here. Now Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Derek Stingley picks it. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. Well, this secondary just continues to be a force. Multiple interceptions in this game, and now the pick 6.
And the thing about it is once you get an interception as a unit, you think to yourself, okay, we got that. How do we increase it the next time? Get the interception, do a little more damage, and there's your outcome right there. Take it to the house and break down what they're trying to do offensively.
Now this will be a return from... And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And they will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Texans touchdown. So they get... Kickoff, get a fumble, take it right back to the house. 2 quick touchdowns within a matter of about 10 seconds on the game clock.
It's like a big 1-2 punch that may lead to a knockout.
Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Up the middle with Barkley. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that will be incomplete.
Continued struggles here in the second quarter, and to me, you can pin a lot of them on an inability to convert 3rd downs. Add that most recent incompletion to the list of examples.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good with their...
And now here is another interception. And the Broncos are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there, and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
43 yards on the ground for him so far.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable second down.
Running again with Barkley on second down. And this time not as successful, as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Texans are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Let's go.
Back to throw now on first down. This is caught. It's Cooks. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Back to throw here. Forced out to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Hold it ready.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
McCann's kick up and good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball carrier, and down he goes.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he'll be just shy of the 20 at the 19 as he goes out of bounds. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half.
14.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They look up at the scoreboard, facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking for Campbell downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Jalen Petrie picks it off.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half. This carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play,
and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Pierce will try to pick it up. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 47 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Ready?
Another carry for Pierce. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
Brandon, that's what you call being manhandled at the point of attack. And I know the offensive line gets a lot of blame for that one. But occasionally, the defense just knows what you're going to do. Maybe they scouted it perfectly. Maybe someone tipped it off. But on that play, it had no chance.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The perennial Pro Bowler Aaron Donald gets the sack. Here's Cameron Johnston now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the... fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Second down, here's an option right. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half. And that...
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. And here comes throw number one for the backup QB. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's King. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 66 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage. But every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up second down. Running left, it's Barkley. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. The tight end Henry here in motion. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. Operating from the gun, Burke. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
And the Texans are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on fourth down.
Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
And Pierce gets it again on second down. 58 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
And they'll go right back to Pierce. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Inside handoff down to Fournette. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now back to throw.
And that one almost intercepted. Boy, he's got 2 already, nearly a 3rd, but not to be, and it's 4th down.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. Barkley, inside handoff, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Burke.
That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To throw on 2nd down, Burke. They'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 7 yards there and a first down.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
They go play action here on first down.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
20. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD.
Well, this defense just continuing to do their thing, and now they add on to that lead with another pick six.
And how about the way they've played this entire game? Not only have they put their stamp on it, but every time they try and mount an offensive challenge, they find a way to thwart it. And multiple pick sixes, oh yeah, they'll enjoy watching this tape after the game.
And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39. Looked like they picked a heck of a time to run the counter.
And we've been saying that in this great game of football probably since we started playing. Anytime you get guys thinking you're going to go one way and you hit back the opposite side, it's a great chance it can turn into the type of play we just saw there, a big gainer.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Christian Harris, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
On third down, Burke throwing the out route incomplete. It's Campbell. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Second and goal from the 6 this time. Looking to throw. Burke.
This one goes out wide for Barkley.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to third and goal.
That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
A rough go there on third down, a loss of 4. This defense continues to be good on third down. I mean, they haven't allowed a touchdown offensively. Are you saying, let's go for this? Let's try to get it in the end zone.
I don't know about that because of what you just described. They've been so good, and they don't give up the big play that you would expect in downs 1 through 3. Why should fourth down be any different? You might want to go ahead and kick the field goal and see if you can figure out something else as this game moves on.
They go for it on 4th and goal, but that winds up incomplete. They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And this Texans defense stands tall.
Okay, ready?
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this has been quite a performance to kick off the new year on the road, no less, as they try to finish things off here in the 4th quarter. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Get it? 60 Maverick! 60 Maverick! Go!
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead.
Let's go!
Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
On 3rd down, Fournette. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That's taken at around the 40. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit 000. One final shot. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Jalen Petrie picks it off, and the Texans come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. So Houston going to come away here with the victory, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
Well, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you've got to like what you saw. What do they call